Hey everyone and welcome. You're listening to the next episode of Turn Zero Drive Home Edition. This is a solo Marvel Snap podcast where I talk about the latest info you need before you start the first turn of a game while I drive home from work. I'm your host August and let's drive home. So the next season of Marvel Snap is right around the corner. I'm recording this on a couple days early, but we should be getting the developer video this weekend. So this will confirm all the kind of the stats and abilities of all these cards. We do have data mines, which I'll be working off of today. So there might be a slight change of like this card might have +1 more power or -1 or something. At this stage of the game, we don't usually see changes to like complete card text, like abilities and everything. So I feel pretty safe talking about these guys a little early. There's 11 new cards next season, all themed around the Weapon X program. If you're a Marvel fan, you know Weapon X. It's the whole Wolverine, adamantium program where they put him, where they gave him the skeleton, right? And then what people don't know is that that's actually expanded past in Wolverine. There's a whole thing. It's called Weapon Plus, where Weapon X was actually the 10th version, like the Roman number 10. So they have lots of different characters to pull from, and the program kept going. So there's lots more in the future as well. So that's where we got a whole season of. So 11 cards, like I said, we're just gonna kind of rapid fire through them. If you're looking for more of like a more concrete rating and thought on the cards, I will be having an article on SnapFan before the start of the season that will have more of my thoughts down in them. Today will kind of just be like reading the cards and going through a quick 1-2, like where I think this could be used, if I think it's good or not. All right, so our first card is the Season Pass card. It's going to be Weapon X himself, Weapon X Wolverine. 2/2. After one of your cards is destroyed, +1 power. After every third time, improve this effect by 1. So this is a whole new ability from Marvel Snap. We've never seen anything like this before. This improvement of abilities is really cool. So basically the way it works is that every time you kill a card while Weapon X is on the board, you'll see it gets a +1 power, right? Like pretty standard for Marvel Snap. Do a thing, get a prize, right? Okay, but what this does is after the third time, it makes that reward even better. So you'll get, you'll go 3 times, you'll go +1, +1, +1, and then the next time it'll be +2. And then you do that a couple more times, you go +2, +2, +2, and then it's going to be +3. So my only problem with Weapon X here is that this isn't like an ongoing ability. He has to be on the board for this to work, for it to count, and for it to grow the power. It's not something that you can, kill a bunch of things throughout the game and then on turn 6 drop Weapon X and get, big guy. That's not how it works. Current destroyed decks don't really have the time to play something like this early, because you're going to want to be playing the things you want to destroy, like Deadpool, over and over again. I don't have a lot of expertise personally playing like the Morgan Le Fay style decks where you destroy a bunch of 1 costs and then bring them all back and play them again later. I'm not sure if this is any better than that or not. Could be. For a season pass, I'm not exactly excited about it, but I'm happy and willing to be wrong and to find out it's actually really good. The Super Premium Pass card is going to be the Adamantium Infusion. This is a 4-cost skill. It says, on reveal, revive your highest power destroyed card here with its power doubled. This one I really like. It's expensive. 4 cost is huge, especially for a skill. Like it feels like you're going to be playing a 4 cost and not getting a lot of power on board. But because of its ability, I think it's going to more than make up for it. There's been little bits of a strategy kind of forming ever since Kid Omega and Elixir came out, where you can stockpile power in different ways for later and to move them in different hard to reach locations. So basically you play something really big like Black Panther, play it gets killed by Kid Omega absorbs the power, and then you use Elixir, and then you bring back the Black Panther and he doubles again. This would be a much better, like if you're looking for just pure points, way to do that. Because not only does the Adamantium Infusion revive Black Panther, so you go from 10 power to 20, and then doubles its power again, so you'd go from 20 to 40. I really like this, but I don't like it for Black Panther specifically. I like it for something like Man Spider. Man Spider has been my go-to like big 5 that I just get to double and double, and this would be even cooler with that. So whether it's just because my opponent has Shang-Chi'd it and stopped me from doing Man Spider into Absman, or maybe it's maybe we are figuring out something with Kid Omega here to preemptively destroy and bring it back myself, or like Venom even. You play Man Spider on turn, you ramp it out, play it on turn 4, get a nice 20 power guy, and then you Venom it, so you keep that power again, and then you Adamantium Infusion and get now another that same Man Spider, but double it again. I'm really looking forward to this card. I'm looking forward to how we can make it even better than that. I can't wait to see how the lists are optimized, because I have a feeling that this is going to be one of the big players of the season. The next card for Series 5 the first week is Chamber. Chamber is a 2/3 activate plus 2 power for each 5 cost or higher card you have here or in your hand. This seems like it's just going to be like a little dude that you play early, and you kind of like set it and forget it, and then at the end of the turn 6 you pop it and you get +6 or something. I really like the idea of it. I think decks that it could be good in is like Arishem, stuff that you want to have a lot of multiple high cost cards. The people aren't going to like this, but the War Machine Legion deck, the Storm deck, that has a bunch of 5 cost and higher cards. And with it being activate, you can play it early, and then you'll know which locations you can or can't access if your War Machine's been turned off, and this will help give you an extra boost there. In general, though, there isn't going to be a lot of decks that have high costs in them. We're starting to see some ramp stuff happen now that strategy is being buffed. We just saw Wave get an extra point of power. We've seen Electro recently get, I think it was an extra 3 points of power. Superior Spider-Man's come out is another ramp card. Luna Snow's always been good. So maybe there is forming a deck here where you're going to have a lot of these high cost cards. You don't get to play all of them, but that's okay, because Chamber is going to make up for some of the difference there. I'm interested. I'm not sure how good it's going to be, but it's got potential, and potential's good. Next card is Wild Child, Series 4. 2/1, ongoing. +4 power if you've discarded a card, +4 power if one of your cards has been destroyed. This is a 2 cost that can be a 2/9. 2/9 is big, really big. Ongoing, it's not really going to fit in the ongoing decks. Ongoing decks don't generally have a way to destroy your own stuff or discard your own stuff. But in this new kind of hybrid that it looks like they're trying to build you to make of a discard/destroy deck, this would be a key piece. 2/9 is not anything to sniff at. This is the kind of thing that flips lanes unexpectedly. It's power that they have to keep in check. They have to recognize that you're gonna, in a deck dedicated to it, you are gonna hit that. Not to mention, this is with its cost, you can do stuff like Moonstone to also take a benefit of this. You can play it on that Onslaught Citadel location, get even bigger. There are things, sneaky things that this guy is going to do. If there is going to be when destroyed, when discarded deck, you're going to need this. The last card of the first week is Wade Wilson. So this seems to be for a game mode, I believe. It's a Series 4 card, for a game mode, which is odd because we don't usually get a game mode in the first week of the month, so it'll be interesting to see if people like that or not. First week, I know a lot of people usually trying to focus on getting into Infinite, so we might be sidetracked from that a little bit for this guy. Wade Wilson, 2/2. When destroyed, replace this with a 1 cost card from your hand or deck with +1 power. Interesting text. It can search out for something from the deck. If you build your deck in a way where you only have 1 cost card, it's if you don't have it in your hand, it's getting pulled from the deck, which is going to be nice for deck thinning. I think the flavor, or at least the connection they want you to make here, is you kill Wade Wilson to get Deadpool. You're kind of transitioning from one card to the next flavor-wise. If you do this, Deadpool gets an extra point of power. You get to search him out, so it helps with consistency. I do like that it does actually pull from hand as well, because going away from the deck thinning part of this, if we're focusing on Deadpool specifically, you can play Deadpool first, play Wade Wilson, kill them both with like a Carnage or a Venom. Deadpool will go back into your hand, and then Wade Wilson will trigger going afterwards to put Deadpool back down on the board. So it's a way to kind of quickly do an up-down with Deadpool himself. If it's a later turn of the game, let's say turn 5, you can do, Carnage and Venom on the same turn, or Carnage and Killmonger, sorry. So what you can do is you Carnage that lane, pull Deadpool back up, put him back down, and then Killmonger. So you're actually doubling twice on that turn, which is really interesting. I've been making the comparison a lot lately between Deadpool and Human Torch, and how they both get to double, with their archetype, move and destroy. But Human Torch can do it multiple times a turn, where Deadpool is stuck to just, once, just because of the way destroy works. So this could be a way to get multiple destroys on Deadpool in the same turn. I'm interested if that actually works out. Like, that could just be the kind of thing that's not worth doing. It would also mean that your deck couldn't run, like X-23 or Agony or even Headpool, which have become key pieces to destroy more X as well. So, yeah, like if you want to be sure you're hitting Deadpool, you can't run any of these other cards, which would definitely weaken Destroy. Like the only reason Destroy has been as good as it is lately is because of the infusion of new stuff. And so if you're taking out all that new stuff just for Wade Wilson, I don't know if that's the trade-off you want to be making. The next new card is going to be Weapon H. Weapon H is a Series 5 card. It's a 7/14. I don't know, something about big stats makes me giddy. Like 7/14. Okay, when discarded, put this back with -2 cost. So it's a lot like Apocalypse and Scorn, where you discard it and it goes right back to your hand. It doesn't actually go to the discard pile. But when you do it, instead of gaining any kind of power, it's reducing its cost. So it's always going to be a 14 power guy. But the trick is going to be, how many times can I discard this before I'm happy to play this? Discarding it once is a 5/14. Discarding it twice is a 3/14. Discarding it 3 times a 1/14. And if you can somehow discard this by 4 times, then you're just getting a free guy. 0/14. This strikes me as something that might kick Khonshu out of discard decks, classic discard. Classic discard has been always, dealing with like Apocalypse and like how many times can we discard the big thing over and over again. And I know when Khonshu came out, there's a bit of experimentation as to like, okay, what if we have a second big thing that we want to discard over and over again? Weapon H seems to be a better second thing. Khonshu is kind of random, kind of RNG based on like you got to discard him 3 times, or 2 times, and then you got to discard another thing that you want to bring back, right? Weapon H does not ask you nearly that much and delivers so much more. That 14 power is going to be huge when you consider that discard already has options like Morbius and the Collector to be gaining power. Right, so you're going to have all these little guys scaling, and then on the final turn you get to play 2 things, and one of them is Weapon H. I'm excited. I think I don't know if this is enough to breathe life into just discard, and I don't know if this is the kind of thing you want in a hybrid discard and destroy deck, because it doesn't actually do anything with destroying. But if we're going to be looking for upgrades for MODOK Apocalypse, this is the guy. Next card is the card that I think a lot of people are talking about. I think this is already the early hit for best card of the season. Maverick. 3/3 Series 5. Activate. Give the next card you play power equal to this card's power. I've talked a lot in the past about wanting a payoff for hand buff strategies, and this is that. So any power that you put on this guy is doubling. Doubling is very good right now. Why would you want to be doing plus power when you could be exponentially gaining power? Any power you put on Maverick, you're going to also put on whatever you play after him. Note that it doesn't take away the power from Maverick. So if you have, you put +6 on him, you have a 3/9 Maverick, and then you activate it and you play another card is getting +9, and Maverick isn't losing anything. So you are continually any buffs you put on him get to be added onto something later. We've seen this kind of thing be good with Destroy, actually. Deadpool loves being doubled, and to help with that, we've recently been seeing Agony join these lists. Agony's there so that if you don't get Deadpool right away, you can start playing her early on those locations that increase power. And anything you put on Agony, you're storing for later, because the card you're playing on top of it will also get it. The Maverick is playing in that same space. We've seen this with Destroy. We've seen this with Man-Spider decks. If you're putting the power for saving it for later, then it still contributes, and that's exactly what Maverick is doing. He's going to have some interesting synergies with cards that, let's say, very classic example, Brood. All right? You get Maverick up to a high number, you activate him, you drop a Brood, then Brood is going to suddenly have 3 copies of that high number. That is the basis synergy I can think of on the top of my head, and it already sounds crazy. Maverick is going to be one of those cards that is a deck builder's dream, and you're going to see it everywhere because of what it does. Whether hand buff specifically doesn't even need to be in the hand. You can play it on the board and be adding power to it. Stuff like Galacta, stuff like Gwenpool into your hand. There's going to be lots of good cards coming back just because of this guy. Very excited for Maverick. I don't know specifically if it's going to be the best card yet, but it's definitely up there. I would be very shocked if this guy it turns out to not be worth it. All right, next new card. My pick as my favorite flavor win ever. When you see how they designed this card, perfection. Okay, Fastball Special. 2-cost skill, seems to be coming in a game mode of some kind. It's going to be Series 4. On reveal, destroy your highest power card here to afflict an enemy card here with that much negative power. So, the Fastball Special, very classic X-Men thing. It's when Colossus picks up Wolverine and chucks him as hard as he can at a target, and that's exactly what's happening with this card. You're taking one of your cards, you're throwing it at your opponent's card, and it's inflicting damage on it. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. This card, I think, is going to be very sneaky good as well. Not only is it a flavor home run, it's going to be very good to play with. All right, at 2 cost, it's a very cheap way to destroy something. Not only something, but a targeted destroy. It's only picking your highest power thing. So why would you want to destroy your highest power thing? First thing that comes to mind is Nimrod. You play Nimrod, you destroy this, pop it, you get some 6 power over on your opponent's side, you get to get your Nimrod procs, and so you get your copies of that, and then with the card that we got earlier in the month, Adamantine Infusion, you play that and you revive something and double it again. So not only have you put power on their side, you've doubled the power on your side. And they've cleanly put it together where it's 4 and 2. You can do this on turn 6 with both these cards, both these skills. Very interested to see how this plays out. I really like the look of this, the flavor, the text, the cost. I think this is going to be a really good one. And if it's a game mode card, like it's been data mined, and you can get it for free, I'm even happier. All right. Okay. Also in that week, and also seeming to be in that game mode, is Marrow. 2/3. When discarded or destroyed, split -6 power among enemy cards. I think this one is better than people think. When I first read it, I was like, oh, okay, you discard it or destroy it, and then, -6, right? But the thing about this is that it's any time you do this, right? Discarding isn't the kind of thing you can get really back into hand, but destroying is definitely something that you can do multiple times. So you can destroy it, you can bring it back with Elixir, you can destroy it again, you can destroy it, you can bring it back with Adamantine Infusion, you can do it again. Like, this is something that I think we're going to see all across, like, putting power in the affliction on the enemy side. This makes me worried for something like Luke Cage is, keeping all of this affliction stuff back way too hard, I think. Especially if we're going to be moving into this kind of design space where we're seeing affliction be used as, like, damage, quote unquote. I really want to see them do something to make this more appealing, because I love the idea of a strategy where you just keep reviving the same thing to keep blowing it up to damage your opponent, but that's not going to really do much if your opponent can just drop Luke Cage and invalidate all of that. Next card is Aurora, 6/6 on reveal. Give one of your other on reveal cards at each location +2 power. Repeat for ongoing, activate, and end of turn. So this is like a weird spectrum, but I'm into it. Okay, so it's weird. It does the spectrum thing where it's looking for, the ongoings, gives them +2 power. Does it for one in each location. It does it for ongoing, does it for on reveal, activate, end of turn. So you can spread this out very huge. It's a 6/6 itself. If you have 3 things in each location, 3 times 4, 12, 16. We're looking at a lot of power here. Decks that can utilize this the most, I'm thinking Thanos. Thanos has a bunch of stones that are both on reveal and ongoing, so they'll be able to help, be the things to take the power from that. You'll be able to spread across your board. You're going to be playing multiple different things. Whether Thanos has room for activates and event turns as well. Lockjaw is a pretty good activate. Thanos has used that historically in the past as well. Drop a stone, activate Lockjaw, put it back, get a bigger card. We can see a return to that kind of strategy. End of turn specifically, maybe something like Thing First Steps. If you're going to have these full boards, then you might as well use them to destroy other things, right? Aurora and Thanos seems like a slam dunk. Where else it can go, we'll find out, but that's definitely going to be like day one testing for me. And then the last card of the season is Phantom X. Phantom X is a 4/6 activate. If you've had cards discarded and destroyed, afflict front row enemy cards at each location with -2 power. So this is what I was talking about them wanting you to kind of make a when discarded and destroyed deck. This is the payoff for that. Along with, Wild Child, right, being that 2/9. But this is the bigger one, because if you can do that, you're putting -4 power on each location. So that's a total of -12 spread out across your opponent's side. Plus, he's a 4/6 himself. So that's a 4/18 worth of power, just if you've fulfilled those conditions. It is an activate, which is rough on a 4 cost. We've seen that many times. Maybe this needs to be 3 costs to be better. If this was like a 3/3 with the same ability, I think I'd be more jazzed. We can always go back to Zabu to try and make it cheaper. There's a lot of ramp these days too. Maybe some cost reduction. A Surge could hit this and be good. But this ability, if we can get it off, I think is really worth it. You're getting -2 power on each front row card, so -4. And if they don't have a front row card there, then that's fine. If you're only doing -2, that means they don't have another front row card, which means you're probably winning that location anyway. The max value you're getting out of this is spectacular. This goes back to my Luke Cage problem I was just mentioning, but if we ignore Luke Cage for a minute, I can see that this being the kind of thing that's worth building around and worth doing. All right. That's the season. A lot of things to look at here. I'm most excited about the destroy stuff more than the discard stuff. I think that the whole package of fastball special and adamantium infusion, the destroy revive stuff, I think is going to be big. I think that's going to be better than any kind of the discard shenanigans, unless they change Luke Cage in some way. If we get this season and then we see, first OTA of the season, it's like they completely rework Luke Cage, then this affliction discard stuff is going to take off. Let me know what you guys think. We're gonna end off here. I just got home, but I'm excited for this season. Hopefully we see some more information soon. I know with American Thanksgiving and holidays, Sometimes we don't get the dev video on the weekend. Sometimes we have to wait until like Monday or the day before the season. I hope that's not the case this time, but if it is, we'll know then. But hopefully we get to find out sooner. We can really start talking about getting into the weeds of these cards. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of them, which one you think is going to be the best one, and stay tuned for more, a deeper dive and more ratings on these guys soon. Thanks.